I get so many amazing questions from all of you every single day. And recently I posted on my Instagram account asking what questions you guys have about mediumship. I've also posted that question on YouTube, and I've gathered everything here on my iPad. So I'm going to be answering all of your Q&As about mediumship today in this video. What I will also do is link below in the description all of the timestamps to get you to each question. So if there's a question that you really want the answer to, it's going to be down below and you can click right to it. I do highly recommend that you watch the entire video though, for those of you that are learning mediumship, so you can get all of this great information. Let's dive right into it. So the first question I have is, should we be asking spirit questions? Now, this is a yes and no kind of an answer for me anyway. Yes, I believe that it's totally okay to ask spirit questions. And I think that you want to ask spirit questions as a way to get clarification for you, clarification for their family, or maybe there's just something you're getting from them that you don't quite understand. And you want to be able to ask them questions to get that information in a different way or have it come through more clearly. So yes, asking spirit questions, absolutely you can do that. And I do that in my readings as well. But what I like to say is that don't ask the questions until the end. The spirit world, they are very intelligent, very smart. They know what the client or your sitter needs to hear. And remember, they were once a person just like we are. They have all the memories that they ever had on this life. They still have them in the spirit world. So they know what needs to get across. They know what needs to be said. With that, sometimes a little bit more information is needed or wanted, and it's okay to ask questions. For example, let's say you get through a reading, you let your person in spirit give you everything first, and then you want to know a little bit more. Okay, how did you pass away? How many kids did you have? You know, certain little questions like that is totally okay to ask at the end of a reading. I personally don't like to ask questions until the end. I like to let the person in spirit come through fully and completely how they want to come through to their family member, their friend, and I allow them the space to do that. As a medium, I don't want to be bombarding them with questions. How did you die? Where did you come from? Where did you live? What did your house look like? How many kids did you have? I don't want to bombard them with that right out of the gate. They have a story to tell. They are the ones that are connected to your client or to the sitter that you're with. They have that connection and they have things that they want to say. Maybe it's been years since they've been able to connect, that they've passed away, and they have so many things they want to say, so many things they want to get across to this person. And my total belief is that us as a medium, we are the conduit between. We are just delivering these messages for them. It's not up to us to keep bombarding them with question after question after question. So after the reading is over, that they've given you everything that they've given you, and you know that they're done speaking, yes, of course it's okay to ask a few questions. Your client might even have some questions that they want answered. Obviously you can't answer, where'd you hide the money? Okay, those kind of questions don't work. But how old were you when this happened? Can you show me a memory that my client is going to know exactly what it is? That's an amazing question to ask. I've seen the most beautiful memories, and they just absolutely make your client feel like their loved one is standing right here. Like I'm getting the chills right now. That's an amazing question to ask. Show me a memory that you and my client will know and understand. That's a perfect question. So yes, to answer this question, thank you so much for asking. Yes, it's okay to ask spirit questions. I agree with that 100%. But I, as the medium, I always save that to the very end. I let spirit give everything they want to give me first. My next question, I believe, is coming from somebody who has lost someone. And their question is, does spirit always hear me? So I'm going to answer this in terms of somebody who has lost somebody and in terms of somebody who is a medium. To those of you that have lost somebody, yes, they hear you all the time. Whenever you speak to them, they can hear you. So the spirit world is omnipresent. It's always around us. We are always connected to it. So I had this vision one time of my dad. He loves to ride motorcycles, and he always talked about visiting other countries, and he never really got to in his physical life. And so I had this vision of him in Paris, which I love Paris. I'm obsessed with Paris. He actually did come visit me there once. I lived in Paris for a while. And so I had this vision of him in Paris again. And I thought, oh my gosh, if my dad in spirit, if his spirit is in Paris, how is he going to hear me? And immediately when I thought that, I had a vision, he was in Paris. And I thought, how can he hear me? He was right here. Boom, right here. So your family members, no matter where they are, no matter what they're doing, no matter where in the universe they are, as soon as you think about them or send a thought to them, they hear it immediately and they are right there next to you. Now, as far as a medium, if this was a medium asking me this question, does spirit always hear me? Yes, 100% as well. So if you mean in terms of like your spirit guides, 100%, they are always there listening to you and to guide you and to lead you. If you're asking me about spirit hearing you like, hey, I want this in my mediumship. Hey, I want to learn this. Hey, I would like to do better in this for my mediumship. Yes, all of those thoughts are always heard. Again, it's the same thing that spirit guides, angels, ascended masters, it's all omnipresent. They can all hear and feel what you're trying to send to them because we're all connected. It's hard to think about that because you're in this like physical body, but everything is connected. And I'm doing this because, like there's this like invisible string that connects us to everything, everyone, all the cosmos, all the universes. We're connected to all of it. So to answer your question, does spirit always hear me? Yes, 100% of the time. All you have to do is put that thought out to somebody, to something, to an angel, to a spirit guide, and immediately it is heard, it is felt, it is known. And especially if you're asking this as a medium, when you put this out to a spirit guide or an angel that you want something in your mediumship, you want to work on something, you want to connect to them more, you want to feel closer to them, 100% they hear it and they want to work on it with you and help you. The next question is, how do you know if you are a medium? Okay, so this is going to be something that's very different for each person. Everybody's going to feel or see or sense things in their own way. So it's kind of not a one-size-fits-all kind of question, but I can tell you for me personally, I felt a pull towards it. Every time I saw someone giving a mediumship reading, it's like my soul reacted. That's a great sign to know if you are a medium. I want to say too, though, every single person on earth is a medium, every single one. You have a soul inside of this body. This body's not yours. This soul is, and our souls are all connected. I firmly believe, and I've seen it in visions, that we are all connected to oneness. We are all connected to everything together. So every single person is a medium. Whether or not you feel called to become a medium is a different question. You have to ask yourself that. Only you can find that answer in your heart. Nobody else can find it for you. But I'll tell you a little bit about my story and how I started this whole journey of mediumship and spirituality. So in my early 20s, like 20, 21 years old, I remember watching John Edward, James Van Praagh, and then eventually Teresa Caputo. And every time I saw one of them, I had this thought, oh my God, that's me. And I'm like, wait, I'm not a medium. I don't know how to do that. I can't do that. I wasn't born that way. And so I would always shove that aside, but I always had that pull, like, that's me. I'm supposed to do that. But I would shove it aside. And so years later, when I was 36, I had this great experience that just really catapulted me into mediumship. So to answer part of that question, because again, it's going to be different for everyone else, I felt a pull to it. So you might feel a pull. Okay, maybe there's synchronicities happening. Like, are you always seeing mediumship somewhere? Are you always feeling called to help others? When you see Teresa Caputo, what happens inside of you? John Edward, James Van Praagh, what happens when you feel and interact and see these people who are giving those readings? For me, that's going to be a huge indication for you. If you see them and you read their books or you watch them on TV or listen to their podcasts, How does it make you feel to think about mediumship when they're talking about it, or especially when you watch them give a reading to somebody? That's going to be a very big indicator for you about if you are supposed to become a medium or if it's something that's like part of your calling. Now, we all have different callings. Mediumship might not be your calling. It could be something else, but mediumship could lead you to different things. Like me, I started out with mediumship and now I do so many other beautiful things, Reiki, tarot, psychic. So it does lead you down different paths. So to answer that question, I got a little bit sidetracked. It's going to be about how you feel inside. You have to go within yourself and find that answer for yourself if it's something that you're meant to do. Now, I can tell you that there are a lot of synchronicities around this. I know that when I look back now into my 20s, I had so many synchronicities trying to pull me into mediumship. I would have dreams about talking to those who have passed away. And I always thought, oh, it was just a dream. You know, I always played it off. Or I would see 1111 or 111 everywhere. And I just thought, oh, that's a coincidence. I keep seeing, and it was all the time. And so now I can look back and say, oh my gosh, like that was angels and my guides trying to lead me down this path to get me here. Now, I do believe in divine timing as well. So I didn't start my mediumship journey until I was 36 years old. I'm about to be 39. And I always thought, oh my gosh, half my life is over. You know, why did it come so late to me? Why couldn't I have had this in my teens or even early 20s when I was called to it? You're going to be in the position to become a medium when it's meant for you, when the time is meant for you. I have a beautiful friend who didn't have this ability start coming to her until her later 50s. Okay, she kind of always felt the pull like I did. She kind of always had synchronicities happen. She kind of always had like this magic about, but it never kind of clicked until later on in her life. And that's when it was supposed to. It wasn't supposed to come in before that. So just know that as well, that it comes into your life when it was supposed to, when it was destined to come. So if it comes later, don't let that bother you. I wrote some notes here. Do you hear spirits? So you could hear spirits with, outside of your regular hearing, or a huge majority hear it in their mind, in their own voice. And so how do you distinguish that? Well, if you're sitting here having a conversation like I am with you and all this, oh, burgers, cheeseburgers, that's not my thought. I'm talking to you. I'm not thinking about cheeseburgers. Like that's something that comes from spirit. Or if you're in meditation and you're so quiet and all of a sudden the thought comes in, you're like, okay, did I think that? Did I not? Are you hearing spirits? Are you getting their energy to interact with yours? And so you're hearing thoughts or receiving words from spirit. That could be a huge thing. I have another friend who that's how she started. She would be in meditation and a thought would come in and she would always think that these thoughts were hers, which any normal person would because they're in your own voice. And so after a while, she started journaling everything that would happen in her meditations. She would write down the things that she heard, and she was able to start putting together that this was her spirit guide talking to her, putting these thoughts here, not cheeseburgers. That was just something random I said, but putting thoughts there and trying to get her to hear him. Okay. So that's another great way. Maybe you're getting thoughts in your head and you're like, what is this? Write it all down and you can go back to it later and reflect on what it is. Something else I wrote down is feeling. So a lot of medium friends that I have, they feel energy. So do you get like the tingles? Like for me, when I'm communicating, I get the chills. You could get the chills, a tingle, maybe you get like an energetic buzz about you, feelings or something. Something else that I want to add to that is random songs. So this goes along with hearing. So when you're hearing songs outside, obviously, maybe you're listening to music, maybe you've got your AirPods on, you're listening to something and a random song comes on. I can say for me, again, I can reflect back. I would always hear songs about heaven, always, all the time. I would turn the radio on and Mariah Carey's song would come on, One Sweet Day. I would turn the radio on and Diamond Rio, One More Time would come on. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm always hearing songs about somebody who has passed away, somebody in heaven. And it happened to me all that time. And I never, ever put that together until now. So music is another indicator. Spirit, your guides, they use music to talk to you, to interact with you. I like to play a game sometimes with my dad where I'll say, okay, Dad, I'm going to turn the radio on, put a song on for me. And a song, whatever song comes on, I trust and believe that that's for him. So you could play a game like that as well. But if you have those synchronicities with the music, pay attention to that because that is something calling to you. Okay, so I really love this next question. It says, do mediumship readings drain your energy? When I do a reading, I feel exhausted afterward. Okay, so for me, you're going to find different answers. So I've seen it many different ways, but for me, the answer is no. I actually feel full of energy after a mediumship reading. Like I feel like I could run a marathon. And the reason I say that is because I'm not using my energy. I'm using the energy of spirit. They're sending the information to me. And I'm not really like using anything inside of me to get the information. It just flows right to me. And then as well, when the energy comes to me, it's like coming directly from God, directly from source, directly from the spirit, and it fills my whole body. And I feel so enlivened. I feel even more energized in and after a reading than before. So when you tell me that your energy is draining, that's telling me that you're trying too hard. You're straining to get a reading. You're straining to get a connection. You're straining to try to get information from the spirit to come forward. You're straining to understand it. So my advice to you is to just kind of sit back and relax with it more. Allow the information to come. I know when you're first starting out, you're so nervous and you don't want to look foolish, but if you can just sit and relax a little bit more, your energy is not going to be so drained. The stress of straining yourself to get that information is what is draining you because you're using your own energy instead of allowing spirit to come and bring their energy and feed you their energy and their information. So again, that has to do with the medium. If you feel like you are drained or exhausted after a reading, in my opinion, others are going to have a different one, okay? Take whatever resonates with you and leave what doesn't. But for me, I'm a lot more energized after a reading than before. So my advice would be to sit in meditation more, sit in the power more, and find a way to keep yourself calm and allow. So again, in the beginning, it's really hard to do that because you're, oh my God, this is so exciting. I want to connect. I want to meet up with people. I want to give readings. I want to work. I want to practice. But when you're in that mentality, you're straining yourself. You're straining your body and your mind. Your strain in your mind can exhaust you. You don't even have to do anything physically, and you can be exhausted from the mental strain alone. So meditate more to go within, to quiet your mind more, to relax you more. Sit in the power more to connect with spirit and build up that power within you. Sit in the power more to sit with spirit and know what it's like to be next to them and with them. If you are sitting in the power, you're not going to be exhausted when you're doing readings as well, because sitting in the power is building up your energy, but it's also getting you to a point where you know how you work. So you're straining so much is also telling me that you don't know how you as a medium work. And by that, I mean, for me, I know that I work primarily through clairvoyance, which is my third eye, and clairsentience, which is clear feeling. So those two are how I work. Maybe you are clear feeling and you don't understand how those feelings are coming through in your body yet. Maybe you are clairgustient, you taste things, okay? Maybe you are clairaudient and you hear it and you just don't understand that you're hearing spirit and not your own voice, and you're just straining so hard to pull things together. If you don't know how you as a medium work and how the things work for you when you're giving a reading, you're never going to be able to understand how spirit works, and they're not going to be able to get their messages across to you very clearly. So definitely for this question, it's a great question. I'm so glad you asked. Sit in meditation more to clear your mind and to calm you, and sit in the power more to build up your energy, but also to sit with spirit and see how they come across. How do you feel it, see it, know it when you're connecting to that energy? And that's going to help you understand how you as a medium work. And you're not going to have to strain and pull and try to get information. Also, back to the other question about asking spirit, can you ask spirit questions? So I can tell too, when you ask this, that you're probably somebody that's asking a lot of questions. How did you die? When were you born? Do you have a family? That's also causing you to lose your own energy, in my opinion, because you're constantly pulling and trying to get this information instead of just letting spirit give it to you. Just allow things to happen, and that draining of energy is not going to happen. You're going to actually feel more energized after a reading. My next question is an amazing one, and I've covered many videos on this topic on this channel, but I am going to answer it here as well. Does a medium have to be born? I feel like those that are born have a better connection than those that come into mediumship later in life. So I love this question. Thank you so much. And my answer is no, a medium does not have to be born that way. And the reason I say born is because we all are born with a connection to spirit. We all can become a medium. Every person on this planet has that deep-rooted connection, has a connection to the collective and the oneness of the world, of the earth, of spirit, of the astros, of the cosmos, of the stars, of the moon, of the sun. We are all connected to all of it. So those that have mediumship that were born that way, that had imaginary friends as they were a child, they could see spirits near their bed, they could talk to family members who had passed away. They have this ability because they came into the world with it. Some of us, like myself, I believe, again, my opinion on everything, everybody could have a different one. My opinion is that when we come into this life, we kind of set up how we want it to go and when we want things to happen and occur for us. We're all here to learn different things. So if we all came into the world as a medium right off the bat, every single one of us, what would that teach us? What would we learn? I know for myself, like if I had had these mediumship abilities in my 20s, I probably wouldn't be where I am right now. I wouldn't have the family I have right now, the house I have right now, the life I have right now. And so I personally believe that it comes to us when we're meant to have it come to us. Now, the part about them being born makes them a better medium, I don't agree with that whatsoever. I am friends with so many mediums who discovered that they could do this much later in life. They didn't have the imaginary friends like I didn't. They didn't see spirits when they were younger, not even so much out of their peripheral vision, which I never had that either. It just was something that happened to them that propelled them into this mediumship journey. But they are like amazing mediums, and they weren't born right out of the gate with it. We all have it. We all have it within us. We all can do it. It doesn't make anybody more special that they had it when they were born, as opposed to somebody who had it later in life. So thank you for this question. It's a beautiful question. It's a great question. A lot of people might not agree, and that's okay. You don't have to agree, but that's how I see it. I developed this later on in my life. I've taken many courses from different teachers to learn how to become a medium, and I've met many people along that same journey throughout my own journey. And there's so many who feel that call to mediumship, but they're afraid to do it because of the stigma that they're not born that way, or they can't do it because they never saw spirits before. They never heard spirits. And like when you see famous mediums up giving their presentations, or they're giving a reading to a client, you're like, oh my God, they can see them and hear them, and they've always seen them and heard them and felt them and knew them. It kind of gives you this stigma that, oh, well, I can't do that. And so I want you all to know that you can, and it's fully and completely capable for you to have this in your life if it's something that you feel called to. Okay, next question. Do you need to do protective work beforehand? Okay, so I'm guessing you're talking about like making sure there's no evil entities that you connect to, or making sure that you don't connect with something that you shouldn't be. I'm gonna go with that as your question. I hope that's what it is. My answer to that is no. And again, I might get a lot of flack for that, but no, I don't do any protective work beforehand. And I'm going to tell you why. And you might find some that want you to do protective work. 100% I agree with that, because that's what works for them. So you take what works for you and make it your thing. Take what I say, make it your thing. For me, I don't do that, because I know that I'm 100% of the light. I am 100% for humanity, for the connection of family to spirit, of friends to spirit. Like, I'm 100% for the light. And I don't allow negativity or negative entities, if you want to call them, coming forward, stepping forward to me. Now, that's not to say I have not encountered them, but I know me, and I'm of the light. I like to say I'm of the light, and I know that I don't want that. And I say, nope, bye, gone, see you later. And they're gone. Okay. So I personally don't do that. In the beginning, I did. I'd have all kinds of black crystals for protection. I'd have amethyst. I even have my beautiful little amethyst skulls here. Like, I would have amethyst everywhere before reading. Oh my, please protect me. Please don't anything negative come. Please, please, please. And one day I woke up and I'm like, why am I doing that? I'm a divine soul. I am connected to God, to the oneness of all. I am light. I am not dark, and I don't allow that. And one day I said, you know what? I'm not going to do these huge rituals before my reading, and I'm going to see what happens. Nothing happened. And I said, okay, let me keep going with this. I'm not going to keep asking for protection. I'm just going to know in my own heart, in my own soul, that I am solid in my foundation, that I am of the light, that I don't allow negativity. I don't allow demons or negative entities to come in. I don't allow it, period. And I know that in a solid knowing. And that was more than a year ago that I stopped being so nervous. Okay, protection, I gotta put a bubble around myself. And I stopped doing that, and I've never looked back. What I want to say is that when you live in the fear of things, fear comes to you. When you live in the love and the light of things, light comes to you. If you're constantly worried about negative entities and demons and things coming for you, you're going to start attracting negativity towards you. But when you stand firm in your belief that you are the light, you are strong, you are capable, nothing can penetrate your aura, your barrier, that's what you're going to attract to you. So I hope that answered your question. So no, I don't ever do protective things. I used to do them religiously, and I stopped doing that. You need to get in your core and know and believe that you are of the light, and you're going to attract light to you. But that's not to say that nothing negative is going to happen. I have had negative things come towards me, but because I'm firm in my belief, I say, I don't want this, and they're gone. Or I will pull down God's light, and I'll watch them go into God's light. But I don't get afraid of it. And that's what I want to get across. Don't be afraid. When you're afraid, you attract that more to you. Here's a great question. Do mediums do readings for pets? I often see mediums post bookings to connect with past loved ones, but I never see them talking about past pets. Yes, 100%. Now, I have not seen that either, where they post about connecting to a past pet. I'm sure that you can find mediums that are heavily in tune with animals, and I know that they're out there. But when you're in a mediumship reading, a medium can connect with any animal or pet who has passed. Whether they are more inclined to connect to animals or not, they still can do it. For example, I have connected to cats, horses, dogs in a mediumship reading that a person comes to for another person in spirit, but their dog will come, their cat will come. I've connected to a bird before, and I could literally feel its feet like right on my shoulders. A lot comes through on my right side. That's why I'm always doing this. But I would feel the bird sitting right here on my shoulder. So yes, mediums can connect to pets. My advice is, if you are looking to connect to a pet, book a mediumship reading and just see what happens. Your pets hear you just as your past loved ones and friends and spirits hear you. So book a mediumship reading and ask your pet to come forward. Talk to them. Tell them you want to hear from them. What I like to suggest is that you say, okay, I want you to talk about this memory. I want you to bring this up. I want you to come through in this manner. So your pets can and will come through. Now, you can look for mediums who specialize in animal communication. There's many of them out there. You can find them on Instagram. Just look up animal communication. You can find many people, even psychics, who connect to pets specifically because they feel a call towards it more. But that's not to say that a regular medium cannot connect to your animal or pet in heaven. They absolutely can. Here's a great question. How can I hear spirit louder? Okay, so I'm going to assume that you're pretty clairaudient, that you hear the things in your head, but you want to be able to hear them louder. What I suggest is sitting quietly. And that's kind of crazy to hear, but go with me for just a second. You're needing to hear them louder because your own thoughts are clouding and are in the way. If you're constantly thinking, constantly moving, constantly going, constantly doing, your mind is constantly on the move, and it's hard to be receiving thoughts. It's hard to be receiving words or receiving things from spirit that you're supposed to be hearing. So sitting in meditation and quieting your mind is going to train your mind to be quiet more often so that you can hear these thoughts coming in. Something else that I like to do is go to a park and practice hearing. Like, you're going to say practice hearing. What is that? So you want to go to a park, get comfortable. I like to sit up against a tree because it's kind of like grounding as well. And then you want to close your eyes and you want to start hearing and further and like try to hear out as far away as you can, and then focus on that one thing that's really far away and tune out the rest as best you can. Okay, that's a great exercise to improve your clairaudience, clear hearing. Something else that I've done too is to put on music and try to pinpoint a piece of the music. So for example, if you're listening to Mariah Carey, try to pinpoint the melody only. She's singing, but you want to move past her singing and find the melody and only listen to the melody. This is training your mind to find the words Spirit's trying to give you. Find and hear and listen to what else is back behind all of that jumbo in your head. These are two techniques that I have used that have worked so amazing for me. And when I first started, I'm like, how is this even going to improve? I'm not connecting to spirit. I'm not even working with spirit. How is this going to even help me? But it really does help your mind understand how to move past all that other stuff and find the subtleness in the middle of it. Okay, so that really does help train your mind. Those two exercises are a great way to make it be louder. Something else you can also do is work with your spirit guides. So as I've said before in this video and in many videos, each person is going to be different. So how you hear is going to be different than how I hear. So you can work with your spirit guide and say, look, I need the volume turned up a little bit. I need to get it in this manner. Your spirit guides are there to help you and improve things for you. They are working with you and for you. So they listen to you. If you need something turned up, sit with your spirit guide and ask for it to be turned up. You can absolutely do that. My next question is, how do you get past the fear? I lay in bed at night sometimes and get so scared of the things in the darkness that I don't even know if I can continue doing this. First of all, I don't want you to feel that way at all. And I did in the beginning too, when all of this turned on, especially that first night after I had this great experience. I was scared to death. I could not sleep for weeks. I had to have the light on. I had to have the TV on because every little creak in my house, every little thing that moved, it scared the crap out of me. So I have been there, and I don't want you to feel that way. As I said before in this video, the fear is going to be attracted to you if that's what you have put out, okay? So I don't know if you've skipped to this question, so I'm just gonna go with everything I said before. Fear is attracted to fear. Light is attracted to light. If you're laying in bed constantly scared, constantly nervous, constantly thinking about what evil or scary things are there or coming towards you, you're going to attract that. You're going to have that happen. For me, I was always laying in bed scared to death of demons or entities or things touching me or coming into my dreams. And I would close my eyes and I would see the scariest faces I've ever seen. And they would be floating all around. I would see skulls. I would see blood. I would see like horns on these nasty looking creatures. And that, of course, scared me even more. And it was hard to close my eyes. And I would do all this protective stuff, wearing amethyst, all kinds of protective crap. In the beginning, I needed it. So if you need it, please do it. Protect yourself. Put the lights on if you have to. Turn the TV on if you have to. Wear amethyst if you have to. But what I want you to do is get yourself to the point where you can stand firm in your light and know nothing can affect me. Nothing can hurt me. Nothing can scare me. And all of that will go away, I promise you. I've actually made a few videos on scary faces so you can kind of see those, what I did in the beginning, what I'm doing now. And once you step into the light where you say, you know what? I am my own light being. I am divine. I am solid in who I am and what I do and what I know. All of that fades. I have not seen one scary face in years. And when I first started, I saw them every night. Every time I closed my eyes, even if I'm at work and I would blink for a second, boom, there would be a scary face right there. And I'm broad daylight in the middle of work. So as soon as I stepped into my divineness, as soon as I stepped into the light and I said, you know, I'm tired of this. I'm not going to be afraid anymore. I am a being of light. I am of the light. I know that. I stand firm in that. I'm not going to be afraid. It all went away. Now I sleep with no lights on. It is completely pitch black in my room. I actually have blackout curtains to make it darker. So before all this mediumship happened, I always slept that way. I had to have it completely dark, no sound. Even the light of a little clock would just bother me. I had to have it completely dark. And then all of this happened, and all of a sudden I'm sleeping with the lights on, the windows on, the windows open, the TV on, all my doors open. And one day I just got tired of it. And I said, you know, this is exhausting. That's another thing I said in one of the questions earlier. Does mediumship drain you? The fear is what's draining you, and the strain and the stress of it is exhausting and draining. So thank you so much for asking this question. It's all about you and you standing firm in your light. Once you stop being afraid, everything else changes for you. You actually feel better. You feel lighter. You feel more energized. You can feel like yourself again. It's not easy to do, and it took me a while. It did. A lot of sleepless nights, a lot of times with the scary faces, a lot of times being awoken in the middle of the night, feeling scared. And it took a long time to progress to get to where, you know, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to be afraid anymore. And it completely changed everything for me as soon as I sat in my power. I sat in my light. I sat in my heart in meditation and realized I don't have anything to be afraid of. I am strong. I am capable. I am independent. I am a strong woman. I can do this. And it completely changed my life. So go easy on yourself. Of course, the question, the way you're phrasing it now, I know that you're in the middle of just being scared. So if you have to have the light on, have it on. There's no shame in that. Have the light on when you sleep. Have the TV on. But try to work yourself back into your power. You are powerful, very powerful. Every one of us on earth is so powerful, and we don't ever use all of that power to our full potential. And that's because we're programmed by the internet, we're programmed by TV, we're programmed by music, podcast, all kinds of junk, the news, to believe that we need to be these frail little things that just shouldn't do anything. And as soon as you stop all that, I don't listen to the news anymore. I barely go on social media unless it's to post about my business. It opens up new doors for you. It makes you feel your power so much more. You are not meant to be some weak little frail thing. You're meant to shine, and you're meant to be bold and powerful. So step into that power. Take your time with it. There's no shame in it. And I'm rooting for you and wishing you all the best. To those of you that need guidance or help with this, please let me know. If you don't want to leave a comment down below for everyone to see, you can DM me on Instagram, Soul Care Intuitive. I will help you. You don't have to be afraid. Okay? I don't have any other questions listed, but I'm happy to answer any more. Leave them down below and I can do another mediumship Q&A session. To those of you that watched the whole video, dude, thank you so much. And I'm so honored and happy to be a part of your life, a part of your journey. And I'm just so happy to be able to help you and answer these questions. So keep them coming. Thank you guys. I'll see you in the next one.